You know, I never thought I'd say this, but I actually think getting cancer was a good thing.
All these niggas acting like clown, they be some bozos. Houston, we got a problem, come so home. All these niggas stealing my stuff, come range up, yeah.
YouTube! What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Mari, back for another video. And today we got a different type of video. This is gonna be a long video, so I think it's only right that I get comfortable. Let me go ahead and change my chair. Much better. And if you guys are new here, which I am sure you guys are new here, what's going on? Hello. My name is Amari, and welcome to Mari. This is my channel where I'll be posting just about everything that happens in my life. If you aren't new here, you might know me from posting any one of these videos from 3 to 4 or 5 years ago. For those of you that don't know, I've been making videos across like 4 different channels for almost like 11 years now. I can put this is
sorry about the last video not having audio. I couldn't get the stuff to run, and then I just decided not to, and I just put out the video without it.
But yeah, like I said, I've been making videos for about 10 years, and it kind of felt like this channel was a channel that kind of started to see some growth. And right when I started to see that growth is when I kind of just disappeared from the face of YouTube as a whole. The goal was to always see some type of upward movement, but right when I started to see that upward movement, everything started to crash. So let's take the steps back. I'm gonna take you along this journey to where we are now and how we got to this point. It was not easy, and it's been going on since 2016, and we are now in 2023. For those of you who don't know me, I was diagnosed in 2018 with a ameloblastic carcinoma, and on top of that, ameloblastic carcinoma is already an extremely rare cancer. On top of that, it's even rarer if you have the type of ameloblastic carcinoma where it occurs in your maxilla versus your mandible. I am one of the very few people, and when I say few, in 2011 the study said that 60 people had ameloblastic carcinoma, there were 60 known cases of ameloblastic carcinomas. 2/3 of that 60 happened in the mandible. 1/3 happened in the maxilla. 1/3 of 60 is 20 cases, making me the 21st case in my eyes, because I hadn't seen any studies past 2011. Freshman year, or going into my freshman year, right after I graduated high school, summer of 2016, I got my wisdom teeth removed. Just like any normal kid, you get your wisdom teeth removed, you're not really thinking too much of it, except for I wasn't like any other kid from this moment going forward. When they pulled out my top right wisdom tooth, they pulled out a mass with it. And that started the whole entire journey that we're on today. It didn't all unfold right away, very quickly, that you might be thinking, because you might be like, wow, how did you get all these videos out if you were going through this? At first, it wasn't like that. I was still going to school my freshman year at Grand Valley State University in Michigan. That should let you know right away that there's something different, because I no longer live in that state, or I didn't graduate from that school. Did the surgery, you know, to remove the wisdom teeth. They pulled out the tumor. They felt that they got margins, but they knew I needed to go see another doctor. Fast forward a little bit, I go to U of M and I get seen by a doctor there. At the time, the tests show that it is a calcifying orthogenous cyst. And were we mistaken? Yes. Would it have saved us some time? Maybe so, but nothing is for sure. And at the time, that cyst is a benign cyst. Margins for a benign cyst, which isn't good for if your cancer is malignant, because that means you didn't get enough cells to make sure that the area is clean. Recurrences, which brings us into where we are. That is spring break of 2017, close to the end of my freshman year. Everything is going good. I'm 18, I joined a frat. I'm a pledge educator in the frat. I'm going to all these parties, and this is why I say I think getting cancer was good, because for me, I was losing myself. It was my first time. I grew up in a very strict household, but it was the first time that I really had like leeway to go find out who I was, and I had too much freedom. I was partying a lot, not doing well in school. The adjustment of having all this happen at once was kind of like a blessing to me, because I don't know where I would have been if I would have stayed down that road. It wasn't good. My grades weren't good. I wouldn't have stayed in school at that school because of my grades. And it was just because everything was coming so fast, and I was trying to cope with everything that I was going through by partying, and I wouldn't recommend it. Nothing really came of the sophomore year. It was just a lot more partying and just not doing well. And at this point, my parents had made the move to North Carolina, and I was no longer considered an in-state student in Michigan because they no longer lived in Michigan. So that meant I either had to, one, take out a loan, right? But that was never the goal. Two, move. Those were the only two options. The loan was for about, like, I think they said $30,000 for 1 year. Mind you, I still had 2 more years if I was able to graduate on time. They just quoted me something ridiculous, so it wasn't feasible. So I made the decision to transfer to UNC Charlotte, and I honestly think it was like the best decision that I made. Fast forward, I transferred to the University of Charlotte in August 2018. Life was still kind of normal, but I knew that there was something coming because right side of my face had started to swell up, like in this area, but I hadn't mentioned it to anybody. I know, very dumb, all my fault, yes. But as a 19-year-old kid who didn't want to believe the worst, I pushed it and pushed it and pushed it until I couldn't push it anymore. And so when I moved to North Carolina, everything just kind of spiraled is how I would, everything was going good. I started working my first job down here at Home Depot. School started August 15th, 2018. And I was so excited. I was diagnosed with cancer August 23rd, 2018. Nothing you could do. So yeah, August 23rd comes and I'm diagnosed with cancer. I'm in the doctor's office. This was supposed to be like a normal doctor's appointment, so I'm there by myself. And I have a recording from it. I'm gonna play it for you guys so you guys can kind of see what I was going through. I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe what I had heard. So it was kind of like, you'll hear I'm not really doing anything. It's just, I'm just sitting there. Like, what she said to me didn't really affect me until I got into the car.
It was a carcinoma called Ameloblastic Carcinoma, which is a pretty rare form of cancer in this area. So the next step now is to get another scan to look and make sure that we got it all. But because we didn't think it was cancer at the time, usually when you take out cancer, you get like healthy tissue all the way around it to get clear margins. So we get a scan to see if we need to go back in and do any more surgery. And then we'll need to send you for some radiation. And so we'll get a PET scan, which looks for cancer anywhere in your body. It'll light up. All right?
All right.
You okay?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
That's fine.
You seem to be taking it very well.
Well, like, I mean, there's nothing really I can do.
That's true.
So.
I literally hate listening to that voice memo. Listening to that voice memo just always does something to me, because that's really when my life kind of changed. Being 19 in college, I'm really trying. Oh, sorry. So like I was saying, as you can see in that call, I really couldn't even figure out what she was saying. And I probably need to do a better. So like you heard inside the voice memo, 19-year-old me was just something different. That was the first time I really had something happen to me. You're a 19-year-old in college and you have cancer. All of the dreams that you've thought about your whole entire life kind of basically go out the window. Because when you're 19 and you get told you have cancer, you're not thinking about like life past cancer. You're like, I have cancer. I went to the car after that doctor's appointment, and I remember my mom goes to every doctor's appointment, right? This doctor's appointment, she couldn't go with me. We didn't think it was anything different than normal because we hadn't been told you had cancer up until this point. When I said I didn't move out of that parking lot for at least 20 to 30 minutes after I got in my car, I was just sitting and just crying. I had no words, I had no emotions, I had nothing left to give because I had just felt like everything that I thought about achieving, all the dreams that I had with YouTube and everything had kind of went out the window. During that time, that was a very hard time. And as you've seen, I was still posting videos no matter what. I apologize to that version of me for giving up on who I was supposed to continue to be. Because I know I was supposed to show you guys the whole entire journey that I went through, but that just wasn't, I couldn't do it. I wasn't mentally happy with who I was and where my life had went. I had just went from being in a frat at a top school, being the pledge educator, doing all these great things, to now feeling like I got humbled. Everything just started to change so quickly, and it was just crazy. August happens, we have to move forward. Like I said, school had still started. Nothing was gonna change. I continued to go to school from that point forward. I just knew I had to be more diligent in what I focused my time into, and that is why YouTube was the sacrifice. I was going to doctor's appointments nonstop, radiation nonstop, not being able to eat for 6 months, not being able to walk for 4 months, not being able to use my hands and think. Like, I was going through it. So when I say something had to fall, like I told you, I've been doing this for 9 years, 10 years. I've never wanted YouTube to be on the back burner because I always thought that was where my life was gonna go. So like, it's so much to the point where I don't even talk to people. Like, if you know I've been doing YouTube for this long, then you know, but like, if you don't, you don't. And there's no point of me telling you, because then it kind of seems like in your eyes that it's a failure. But in my eyes, I've never done YouTube for monetization or anything along that lines. I was doing it back when gaming was just gaming. Like, me and my group of friends, we just said, you know what, we're gonna start uploading videos. And that was where it started. It was all genuine from the front. So to me, if YouTube had to fall off, then it needed to happen, because I understood that no matter what, videos were gonna come back. Everything started happening. Nothing really had started just yet. Okay, so after being diagnosed, school started like normal. You know, there was nothing that we could do. Life wasn't gonna pause, so I still had to go to school and figure out how everything was gonna work. Mind you, I was still uploading videos at the time, still in school, commuting to school. I don't live on campus. I'm traveling 45 minutes from my house to school four times a week. It's a lot. October rolls around, October 28 rolls around, and I have surgery number 2. That surgery was just a partial maxillectomy. He removed some of the roof of my mouth with the 2 back molars, so I could no longer chew all the way in the back of my mouth, right? Not a big deal, because hey, it was honestly not that bad. I was still able to go to school, and I wasn't thinking too much of it. Fast forward a little bit more time, you know, we didn't end up doing radiation because we felt like it wasn't necessary right away. But we had another reoccurrence, and I feel like the reoccurrence happened before we could even decide really if radiation was going to be the route that we took. But it was just like another reoccurrence happened, and that was in like May of 2018, with a surgery in like June of 2018. At the time, school had ended. I did well in my first year at UNC Charlotte, and I felt like everything, you know, even though it wasn't going great, it was going decent. I was still uploading videos. So I still been uploading videos. And yeah, August of 2018, I had started school for my second semester at UNC Charlotte. And during this time is when it kind of all really began to crumble, I would say. Up until this point, I was still able to commute to school, still able to enjoy my time as a 20-year-old adult, not really letting anything stop me. I was still enjoying just about everything, you know? Still commuting to school, still working, still uploading videos, just the whole 9 yards. I'm still going hard no matter the surgery. The 3 surgeries I've now had at this time, were just feeling out of it. I'm still, you know, grinding towards this better goal. And then once school started, October happened. And that was when it was like, I was no longer in the driver's seat of anything that was happening in my life anymore. From that point forward, I had the biggest surgery of my life. It kept me in the hospital for about 2 weeks, and I couldn't walk for 3 months after. I couldn't talk. Here, this is what my leg looked like after the surgery. This is a clip of how I sounded after the surgery.
But you hear how I'm talking, right? I got mad at hospital hours, but once I put it to the truth.
So we have the surgery in October. And it might seem like it was crazy, but It wasn't. I think it was October 9th. October 9th. I hate October 9th because of this. I had the surgery. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And not even a month after that, I had to get another surgery. So I had the surgery in October, got home after the 2 weeks, and turned around and had another surgery in November, right before Thanksgiving, where it was like terrible. I mean, I had a feeding tube. I couldn't talk. 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend. 2019, end of 2019, probably like the worst year throughout this whole entire time span, because it was like school, surgery, couldn't talk, radiation, can't walk, can't eat. So like from the span of August 2019 to the span of maybe April 2020, but COVID happened. So it's like, it's not fair to add it, but it is what it is. So from that point in August to April, I wasn't allowed to do anything. And even from that point forward, I still was not able to do anything because I was a health risk. I had cancer. I had just finished I had just finished radiation, which meant my immune system was shot and I was susceptible to just about everything, which meant I needed to stay in the house. During this time, I couldn't walk, like I said. Christmas happens, Thanksgiving happens. I start radiation right after Christmas 2019. And it was the worst thing ever. I kid you not. If you have a throat neck cancer and you had radiation, then you probably understand what I'm talking about, because when you get radiation in your mouth area, my beard was full, okay? I had a great beard. Hair falls off. I'm okay with it. I couldn't eat because my mouth was covered in ulcers. I am drinking of these Ensures a day, these like 350 calorie Ensures a day, and I am just trying to live. By some will, some way, I'm trying to live. It hurts. I'm sleeping all day. I can't eat. I'm throwing up. I'm just going through it for like 3 months straight. I had like 33 cycles of radiation. I end the radiation, I think the end of February. And I'm slowly progressing back into myself, but COVID happens. So now I'm stuck inside. So then I'm stuck inside, and that means you can't do anything. The way I entertain myself is by driving around, because we had just moved to this new, we had moved from North Carolina to South Carolina. Not too far from the other house, but I had never been in this area. So I drove for like 8 months straight and just found old houses, fields, like just about anything that was over here I found in the 8 months during like the peak of COVID, when it was really bad. Now, even though COVID happened, everything is going good again. Like, shh, don't tell the cancer, but everything's going good. If you ask me, was my year. 2020 going into 2021 was my year. Was able to finish school. I graduated in May of 2021. I did well, and I didn't have any more surgeries due to cancer. Everything else at that point was reconstruction. And fast forward, I graduate. It's May 2020 now. It's lit. I'm like, oh, I'm about to start working. I beat cancer. Do you hear me? I beat cancer. At that point, I had beat cancer. I had finished college. It was ready to get back on YouTube, get back into the big boy job, and we was just gonna, you guys were gonna just see me grow professionally from where the point that you had started seeing me to where I wanted to be. And that was an amazing plan to have, but I feel like every plan that I have in life never ends up like working. August of 2021, for like the first time in like 2 years, I think we went to Boston to see my grandma. By the time I had gotten back, mind you, when I flew there was nothing wrong with me. By the time I flew back, this right here was bulged out. It was swollen. Could not win to save my fucking life. I promise you, like, I couldn't. It was crazy. I got back immediately, neck swelled up. Like, what are the odds that as soon as I get back, my neck swells up? You know what has to happen? We go to the doctors and the whole entire thing starts over again, because now with ameloblastic carcinomas, there is a chance of not only local reoccurrence, which means in this area where it first occurred, but it tends to spread to your lungs, lymph nodes. At that point in August of 2021, we went in, we did the PET scans, and I had a scan before I left for Boston, and nothing was on it. By the time I came back, the scan had lit up not only here, and like here. I now had cancer everywhere. It was crazy because 3 weeks before I did not have it anywhere. But like I said, I am just the luckiest person alive. There's no debating. Got back and it was automatically go, like, because it was no longer like it was just here. It was, so anything that we had to do had to be like 100 times harder. You could not go the same way before. So that immediately started. I had surgery. Same thing. Like I said, October is our favorite time. October 9th, I had surgery to remove the lymph nodes in my neck, which is a lymph node dissection. They removed about 33 lymph nodes with only 3 of them containing cancer, but you have to, you know, be safe. It's an aggressive cancer, so the only way to combat it is to be aggressive yourself. So they remove lymph nodes all throughout this side. That was good. It just doesn't answer the problems of my chest, right? I did radiation right after that. January 2022, I started my second thing of radiation, and it wasn't as bad as the first time because it was in my throat area, but I still had the same symptoms. I couldn't eat, but I could eat a little bit more this time around than I could the first time around. I could chew everything and bear with the pain of swallowing. And I actually think I have that mixed up. I think after radiation is when we found out that I had cancer in my lungs. I think at the time it was just cancer in my lymph nodes. So then I finished radiation and March rolls around, and now it's to the point where I am coughing like a lot, like like just OD coughing, and feeling like I couldn't cough something up that was always in my chest. We had another scan and that just showed that it was just everywhere at this point. I flew to Boston to Mass General Hospital because Mass General Hospital has a rare cancer facility, and at this point we had flew there because the oncologist that I had here kind of was just telling us like, hey, it's more about comfortability than overcoming the disease at this point. Almost like verbatim. No one had beat this cancer, so at this point all we knew was we exhausted all the efforts, and we knew chemo wasn't the best bet for the cancer because of other case notes where they used chemo. It didn't help. The only 2 that usually helped was either radiation or no reoccurrences. Just graduated, got a degree, and personally I felt like I wasted my time. I'm gonna tell the truth. Like, I felt like the time that I had put forth was a waste because I wouldn't be able to see any of it come to light of everything that I dreamed about. So it was hard. Like, I mean, I was probably in the worst place at that point. How else do you tell someone that's been fighting this for 6 years that at 22 now there's nothing else that you can do? It's more for comfortability and, you know, making sure you're okay. I don't know. It was hard. But like I said, we flew to Mass General Hospital. He let me know, the doctor there let me know that it didn't mean like everything was over. It just meant that we need to be more creative. And he wasn't the one that introduced the immunotherapy idea to us. That was my mom. He was the one that helped us get insight on the immunotherapy because we are at a rare cancer facility. Ever since like May of 2022, I have been receiving immunotherapy, Yervoy and Opdivo for a year now, every 3 to 6 weeks through my port right here. Honestly, it's the easiest medicine that I get. Literally no side effects other than some diarrhea on the first day. I'm going to school to get my master's. I started uploading videos again, and I'm just slowly starting to get back to the person that I was before all this happened. So I'm just happy that we were able to find something that allows me to regain the sense of normalcy, however you pronounce the word, that I had beforehand. This is the hard part about the cancer videos, right? Because I want to say at the end of them, I hope everything continues to go well. But when I say that, I also have the mindset that I know anytime I have said that, it has not went well. So this is why I wanted to make videos for people living through the experience that I lived through, to let you know that no matter the fear that you have, life continues. Because a while ago, I promise you, being one of 20 people, one of 21 people to have a very rare cancer, and for you to know how all the other 20 cases ended up is hard. It's hard for an 18-year-old. It's hard for a 19-year-old. It's hard for a 20-year-old. It's hard for a 21-year-old. It's hard for a 22-year-old. But at the end of the day, I might have taken a break. I might needed to focus on myself to make sure I was the best version of myself for the future that I want. But I've never given up on nothing I wanted to do. I knew I was gonna get my college degree. I finished my college degree. I didn't start off great, but I finished. a lot better than I started with a 3.2 GPA. I'm getting my master's now, and I have a 4.2 GPA. I started making videos for you guys again, not for you guys, but more for me to vlog or to have a diary of the life that I'm living. How life has, I went through so many transitions throughout life, from the first videos that I started to make where it was gaming videos to these funny, more modern type of videos that we see in public and stuff like that, to now realizing that those aren't the types of videos that I wanted to make for you guys. I want to show you guys what it's like to live, because I've been stuck here for the last 6 years. I haven't got to live. So I just asked you guys, after you heard my story, after you listened to it, I know this video was long, I just want to ask you guys to just be open, because it's not easy. No matter what, I could beat cancer, right? But the stuff that happened to me during the time, it doesn't change. My appearance will not change. I will continue to have to look like this because of the stuff that I went through. But I'm okay with that, because I'm still here to tell you guys about that. So if there's one thing that you could take away from my video today, it's just to be thankful for the life that you live. Because at one point I was not thankful. I promise you I wasn't. But at this point, it's crazy to say, but I am. I really enjoy the stuff that I went through. I enjoyed meeting all the doctors. I enjoyed just showing them that no matter what, I wanted them to know, like, they were always gonna know, like, I'm involved in my own care. And that's 100% what it's been. This has been a very long, it wasn't supposed to be sad, but it's hard. It's a hard topic to talk about. And I promise the videos that you guys are gonna see in the future will be great. The content that you guys will continue to see will be great. That you guys understand where I've been for the last 3 years. And even if you are new here, if you did enjoy this video and you took something away from it, please leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. I just want to let other people know that other people are looking for these type of videos, and that they shouldn't be afraid to tell their own story. But I feel like you don't educate the masses by only sharing to the people that also are going through what you are going through. You have to share it to everybody. So this is my first step on sharing it to everybody. Go ahead and subscribe. More videos to come. They won't be like this. They'll be a lot more happy, a lot more upbeat, with a lot more things going on. But this video had to come because it's been so long, and it's a topic that I can't run from. I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day and watching my story time on my life, on what I've been going through for the last 6 years, and how I've been fighting this extremely rare cancer. And I just hope that you have a good rest of your day. Peace. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.